Today I have a piece with me from a company that possibly are the ones who created or behind the GMT watch, which then sparked off many other companies and some very notable ones as well with their own iteration of a GMT watch. So the brand at hand today is Glycine, and the piece I have is none other than the iconic AIRMAN, and this is a reiteration, a model that was recently released, the SST Pumpkin. So just let me go ahead and unwrap this. As you can see right off the bat, this piece has a very nice blend and balance of modern and contemporary classic designs. It has the very classic turtle case or the cushion case shape, which is iconic with watches from the 50s and 60s. So it is modern in the sense that it's much more curvier. It has a very high polish finish and has a very nice seamless finish from the bracelet to the case. So this piece comes in at 43 mm. With a case size of 43 mm, it might seem rather big, but due to the unique case shape, lug to lug, it's just 46 mm. So being 46 mm, it's actually very wearable because of its lug to lug. And because it's curved very nicely and very ergonomically, it fits really well on the wrist. And what I really like is the pop of color from the orange or the pumpkin chapter ring that's used to tell the time in your secondary time zone. So the dial has a very nice classy touch of just black and white and fonts of the numbers in a very classic style that we do see on some of the vintage field watches. So one thing I've noticed and I've seen that has been very well received is actually, if you notice this time around on this new variation of the SST AIRMAN, Glycine has decided to remove a lot of the additional words that has been on different variations, words like SST, AIRMAN, AM and PM. So they've cleaned up the dial to give it a very modern minimalist look, and despite having a lot of information or details, it all actually amalgamates very nicely, and it's not too much. Almost reminds me of a Breitling Navy timer, which having what seems like too much details, but at a glance you capture everything. And I feel that the play of colors are very smart. So this is to break the 24-hour time zone from day to night, or when the sun rises to when the sun sets, daylight and night. Also, if you notice on the chapter ring, all the countries are in black except for Bien, which is where Glycine was incorporated and first formed. So it's a nice way to stand out from the rest of the capital cities from around the world. And to keep in line, they have had a red GMT hand for the secondary time, which is a nice match between the orange so that it stands out but not too much and blends in very nicely. And as for the case, you can see very nicely polished and it has a bit of brushed against the polished sides. And I like this little feature right here. It's almost like a bottle cap finish of a bezel to break away from the matte finishing or the brush finishing of the case, and it goes right into that chapter ring and onto the chapter ring on the outer dial, the 24 hours of the GMT time zone. And as we move inwards, 1 through 12 for the primary time, and then the name Glycine, the words automatic, a red arrow at the 6 o'clock hour, in which you can see the date in a rectangular date window, and on either ends the word Swiss made. And as we move on to the side, almost like a Phillips screw for you to adjust the second time zone, and you can see without much effort, it's easy to play with the chapter ring. And then a screw down crown with the Glycine crown note for extra grip, and there's just about enough room or space for you to get your fingers around so that you can easily adjust, as we see right here, in one direction the date, and in the other direction you can see the GMT time zone hand almost sticking in an hour, and then further pull it out for you to get the time set. And as you set the primary time, the secondary time moves as well. So it's screw down because it's actually not a dive watch, but it's water resistant up to 200 meters. And as we go to the bracelet, it's a 5-link bracelet with its interchange with matte, polished, matte, and polish again. Again, a very nice, almost Jubilee style, classically finished bracelet that matches very well with the piece at hand. And with a butterfly clasp. Just let me get this out of the way. So the model number is GL0309. And on each ends of the bracelet, Glycine and the crown logo. And on the back, it's sporting the iconic Concorde, which was roughly around the time when the AIRMAN was released. And it's a screw down case back with some of the very rudimentary information. The model, stainless steel sapphire 20 ATM, the model number, and the AIRMAN SST 21. Finely finished, as you can see, and the bracelets are joined very closely and seamlessly, fit in well. And on the wrist, on a 6.9 inch wrist, you can see it hugs very nicely across the wrist, comfortable, and these links are the kind of links that do not get your hair caught in them, which is a plus for me because of my hairy arms. Overall, it's a very nicely finished piece. It's a very nice modern uplift of the old AIRMANs or the SST AIRMANs we are used to, and is sporting an iconic caliber GL293, which is a movement very much based on the Sellita 330-1, which comes in about 25 or 26 joules, has a power reserve of 38 hours, 28,800 BPH. If orange isn't the color for you, other tones that are a bit more calming or a bit more muted, I personally like the other one, which comes in blue and gray. So overall, I'm really a fan of this piece, how it fits, its finish, its weight, the movement, and just want to quickly mention it has that very sought after, very slightly hacking as it moves along. Overall, a very nice piece from Glycine again.